Hey, everyone. Let's talk about tabletop role-playing games representation in manga. And I'll start with a manga called Dice Roll. This is a type of cute girls doing cute things manga. You know the type bunch of cute schoolgirls get together and do something. Play in a band like K-On, or play airsoft, or drive the tanks. In this case, they're playing tabletop role-playing games. The main character in this manga is perpetually unlucky girls called Chisachi. On the first day of high school, she's recruited into the Adventurers Guild Club. But she's like, I'm not really an adventurer, leave me alone, but it's too late and she has to go. Well, she comes in and there are 3 girls sitting there playing a tabletop role-playing game. She's like, what are you guys doing here? Are you gambling? No, they say, sit down, you are going to play a tabletop role-playing game now. And that's how she gets into this tabletop role-playing abyss, and the usual starts. Haha, you rolled 2 ones on the dice, now suddenly the quantum ogres appear and you party is TPK'd. Now let's go buy you some dice at the store together. And now let's go to a friend's house and stay there for the night to play TRPGs. She gets to befriend her clubmates, GM Senpai, rules lawyer Twintails, and a dork who actually though that Adventurers Guild Club is about real-world outdoor adventures. In short, everything in this manga is as it should be. By the way, the game girls play there is Sword World 2.5. Most popular domestic Japanese RPG system. Most popular overall is Call of Cthulhu. 1 volume, 8 chapters of this manga came out so far. But it is ongoing in a periodical manga magazine, so there will be more. I actually translated the first tome, but not to English, womp womp womp. I'm sure someone will pick it up and translate it into English eventually. Now for the next TRPG manga. Obviously, I have to mention Quick Start. It's also a manga about a group of high school girls who got together and organized a high school TRPG club. But it's not a traditional manga, it's yankoma, a manga with 4 panels underneath each other. And it's not about cute slice of life of high school girls, but more of a TRPG gag manga. The girls play domestic Japanese games made by Far East Amusement Research Company. For example, Double Cross or Tokyo Nova. By the way, those games are translated into English. And the manga itself is also translated into English. I think you'll find it in Google no problem. My channel avatar is from this manga, by the way. Now for manga based on a particular TRPG. Let's start with Tunnels and Trolls. Due to various reasons, TNT has a following in Japan, and part thanks to Wizards of the Coast fucking up the support for their game in 80s in Japan. And if it has following, it has domestic content. Japan has TTT magazine that publishes TNT adventures, articles, and also manga. There is actually a translated compilation of content from TTT magazine in English. Google TNT Adventures Japan. Although, most of the magazine is actual content for TNT, and manga is like 10 pages in total. The rest of the manga that will be discussed don't have translations, I don't think. There's a manga based on advanced fighting fantasy called Hajime no AFF, or AFF for the first time. It comes out in Japanese gaming magazines, such as Warlock Magazine. And when I say gaming magazines, I mean actual paper magazine about tabletop role-playing games. Japan has a bunch of them. So, the manga features various scenes from game sessions, memorable characters, interesting situations that can happen in a game of advanced fighting fantasy. The author himself is well acquainted with this system and explains certain aspects of the game, and some rules. And in the volume collection of this manga there is even a scenario for beginners at the end. Next is Dragon Ring. It is sort of a manga introduction to tabletop role-playing games, released in book format in 1989. Yuji, a computer RPG enthusiast, along with his friends Takashi, Keiko, and Hiroyuki receive an invitation from a mysterious man in sunglasses, Matsuda-senpai, to try their hand at Dragon Ring TRPG. All pages of the manga are annotated with commentaries that introduce readers to various TRPG concepts. At the end of the book you can find the Dragon Ring's 15-page game system. It's quite lightweight and simple system, well, for the 80s at least. The next manga is called D&D, but it's not Dungeons and Dragons, it's Daddies and Daughters. It's a doujinshi manga that was released on Comiket, but it's also available in stores and online. It's about a middle school student, Yuki, who learned about tabletop RPGs from her father, who was into RPGs with his friends in the 80s, and after transferring to a new school, she meets the daughters of her father's friends from his gaming group. The girls were also taught how to play TRPGs by their dads. Naturally, the girls too become friends and start playing tabletop RPGs together. Next manga is also about schoolgirls. It's called After School Princess. It's also a doujinshi manga. Each chapter is dedicated to a different game. One is about Call of Cthulhu. Being the most popular RPG in Japan, no wonder. The second chapter is about Fiasco. It's Western GM-less game that got translated into Japanese a couple of years ago. The third chapter is about Novi Novi TRPG. It's domestic Japanese game, a sort of mix of tabletop card game and tabletop RPG with a rotating GM, good game for beginners. The fourth chapter is about UREG. It's short for Unrealistic Escape Game. It is sort of tabletop RPG escape room. You find yourself in a situation and you need to get out of it using various clues. Why are all these manga about high school girls? I don't know. Actually, I do. Because everyone loves cute high school girls. There's a bunch of other TRPG-related manga, like the Record of Lodos War manga, or the Make You Kingdom manga, that came out recently. Make You Kingdom, it's a tabletop role-playing game, and it's coming out in English this year. Then there is a bunch of I've become level 999 character from my tabletop RPG kind of manga. I'm not even kidding, I think that one actually exists. But as for manga about people who play tabletop role-playing games, I think I can only remember those. Maybe someone knows more. Comment if you do. And there's also an anime that I want to mention. It's not all about tabletop role-playing games, but there was an episode about TRPGs. The anime is called A Sister's All You Need, and there was an episode where the characters just kinda sat down and started playing tabletop role-playing games. It's a comedy anime, but they did surprisingly good job representing tabletop RPGs. The anime in general is pretty good, I think. Give it a watch. And here is a bonus round for my tabletop wargame friends. Explosive 40K, Commander Rage. A Shonen Jump-style doujinshi battle manga about a passionate young man who discovers the thrills of Warhammer 40,000. The protagonist, a young soccer player named Shermanto Reiji. By chance, he learns about Warhammer 40,000 and becomes obsessed with the game. He engages in fierce battles with many typical opponents, including the game guru, the rude guy, the only girl in the group, the champion, and more. Each chapter is also touches on some aspect of the 40K, like painting minis or playing 40K Apocalypse. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. See you next time.